Hello, good morning, family. Good morning, good morning. Chi Smith here. You know, it doesn't take me long. Freedom Friday, Freedom Friday. I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things on today. One, I really had the pleasure and the honor to be a special guest on a wonderful network by the name of Surge Hub with Dr. Lovella McGarry, and I will be posting that link down below for you guys to catch that particular episode, which was the first episode leading into a series about leadership. And I want to talk about leadership because in that episode, there was a lot of fun times, but also serious times where we really hit on the core of leadership and what it means and what it doesn't mean and why people want it and why people don't want it and why people operate in a place of leadership and not being effective. And you got new people coming up who want that and know what their gifts and talents and skill set is and know that they can rock that thing, but maybe people been in the seat too long and they won't get up and all that other stuff, right? So but there was a point within the show, and I made the statement back to Dr. Lovella per her question. A lot of people don't want leadership. People want what's on the surface, on the top of what leadership looks like. You want the A team behind you. You want the support system. You want to get the accolades and the calls and the different gains from being a leader. You want the wonderful wardrobe. You want your name everywhere. But do you really want it? Because here's another thing. It's a difference between wanting to and needing to be a leader. See, I want to eat cake every day, but I need to drink more water. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we want and we don't need, and a lot of things that we need and we shouldn't want it. Here's what I'm also alluding to as it relates to leadership. It's kind of like, that guy who sees that girl and she's beautiful, she's fine, her body right, she's intellectual, all of that. She got it going on, house, car, all of that, right? He doesn't really want to wife her up. He just wants the benefits of her being arm candy and feeding into his insecurities and or maybe, I'll stop right there. His insecurities. He really doesn't have any full intentions of changing and becoming a better man to meet that woman where she is. It just looks good and looks right to have her in his life, to carry around at the different venues, to carry her around to the family dinners and family functions. And so it is with leadership. See, in leadership, you have to constantly evolve because you're leading with your life. And if your life is not exemplifying leadership, you will not have anyone who's interested in following you. Okay? But you have to lead with your life, and you have to lead with your life for real, because whatever your life is exemplifying, people will see that and people will make a divine choice as to if I want to follow that, mimic that, or not. People in leadership want the glitz and the glam and the show and all of these other benefits that come with it. And yes, to whom much is given, much is required. And there are absolutely benefits of leadership. But I ask you, do you really want it? Are you really worried about the role of leadership because of what it looks like versus to really what it is, the core of what leadership really is? Because the core of leadership is being able to serve. And when I say serve, that means serve with your talent, serve with your gifts, serve with your skill set. You're not really worried about the role. You're worried about the purpose in which God has sent you here, the intended purpose in which you are supposed to fulfill. You're getting too caught up on the surface layer on top when you have to go deep and down under and really seek within and say, am I really ready to be a leader? Even though I've been leading for 18 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, should I really have been in that position? Because see, you got folks in leadership roles and they ain't making no difference. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ain't making no difference in your role, you are going to answer for that by your creator. And don't be surprised if you get plucked up out of your area and someone else replaces you. See, there's a saying that says that anybody is replaceable, absolutely, but I think we play God cheap. We think that God is not a God that will pluck you up and out of a role and put somebody else in. Baby, I don't care that you make millions of dollars already. I don't care that you just went and bought the most beautiful house and the beautiful car. I don't care that you get a chance to travel around the world. God will use somebody on that corner stop that's been living that lie and life for 20 years on the corner being homeless and put that person in a place of leadership. Why? Because their heart is right and they are willing to serve the world, God's people, with their gift and talents. It ain't about them, it's about the kingdom. I'm tired of y'all thinking that just because you in a place of leadership and you got the cameras on you and you getting the fat paychecks and this is and that God won't replace you. God will absolutely replace you because it's all about what's in this thing that you see shining right here. Out of the heart of man flows the issues of life. What issues do you have that you're not dealing with? To be a true leader, you have got to deal with the innermost self because that is who you are. And if you do not choose to evolve and allow God to totally take control over your life and let down some things and pick up some things and remain humble even in whatever state. So please go check out the replay on the Surge Hub. There was a lot of information covered and not enough information. Now, hopefully there's a part 2 coming. There will be a part 2 coming because there's so much to unpack as it relates to leadership and we got this thing mixed up. Leadership is also earned. It ain't always given. And even if it's given to you, it's because you have worked for it. To be a leader, you have to know how to serve constantly. Constantly in a place of serving. That is true leadership. And lastly, I want to invite each and every one of you, man and woman, even though this is a women's conference, on August the 13th and the 14th called Let's Change Together. It is our 3rd annual women's conference. We have a beautiful lineup for each and every one of you. It is a course of 2 days, the 13th and the 14th, and each day you have certain number of speakers. And I will be one of the speakers, and I will be sharing on the topic below the surface, healing below the surface. And it goes in tandem with the Surge Hub episode from last night. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you, please go grab your tickets. If you find that you really know that you need to be there, because you need to hear about healing below the surface and or other topics that are listed, feel free to DM me, send me an email at chismithworldwide@gmail.com, and we will see what we can do. But we need to have you there, men and women. Healing below the surface is an absolutely broad topic, and it takes several days, weeks, and months to cover that. But I want to ensure that along with the Inner Chi Show, you guys are tuning in weekly to get. This is a conference you do not want to miss. Again, it is a women's conference, so we do invite and ask all women to come and receive. Because even in a leadership role, the 4th step that was shared on last night's episode was learning agility. You've got to always find yourself in a learning mode. Always. You can always learn something. And so as you're serving, are you learning? Are you humbling yourself and your spirit to receive something new? And not only something new, but something more. Baby, what served you well as a leader in the 1980s will not necessarily serve you well in 2022. Now, I'm not saying that different foundational principles are not still effective, but maybe it's the delivery that's different. See, principles and foundations and systems and guidelines and laws will always remain the same. They can be tweaked a little bit, right? But for the most part, nothing bothers that. But what could change is the delivery of the principles, of the foundation, of the system. Why? Because people change and generations change. And so then at that point, it's just a matter of delivering the same principle to a newcomer or an old timer based off the times. So guys, I love you. Freedom Friday. We went way beyond our time, but I hope that you were engaged in this particular post, and I love you. And again, don't forget to catch the links below. Okay, y'all be blessed, be safe, see ya.